I had myself muted. I'm going to try that again. That was way too much work. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Don Pod. We're here to discuss our first win.
We need a sound effect for that, Sam. We should
Yeah.
have a sound. Whoop whoopee.
We should have a sound effect, but
Hey,
but
just to interrupt, then, does that mean we're giving away the football tonight?
it does. It does.
Oh, that's exciting. So people, listen in.
The Zoom's not really playing kind there, but anyway.
Yeah, we get the gist.
We'll be picking a winner at the end of the pod. So I posted on the Facebook page today. Just head over and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's all you have to do. If you're listening to this after Monday night, it's too late. We'll be doing it tonight. So head over, subscribe. Excuse me. Sorry, to win yourself a footy. As I said, a big win in the context of just feeling like a football club, and just sort of getting our season.
And we had a win when Collingwood and Hawthorn and Carlton did it. So let's clutch at all those little straws, Sammy. All those little straws.
Yeah. All lost. A bit of a rookie here doesn't have the scores in front of him, so I've got everything else I need. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Essendon 15-13, 103 defeat Adelaide 15-9, 99. Key players: Parrish 38 touches, 17 of them contested, and 8 clearances. Heppel McGrath had 25, Hind 24, Caldwell 23, and Rusty Martin 22. No other logic other than I just like saying Rusty Martin. Just stopping there. Goals: Wright 3, Perkins 2, Waterman 2. Singles: 2, have you got time? Durham, Guelphy, Martin, Rusty Martin, Smith, Caldwell, Draper, Phillips, and Redman. For the Crows, disposals 38 to Laird. Interestingly, the second game in a row where an opposition mid has had 38 touches. Dawson and Keys 27, Crouch 26, Scholl 20, Rochelle 19. The goals:
12 tackles that Ben Keys too. I want that noted. 12 tackles. That's a machine.
Him and the other guy, Crouch, I think, had like a third of Adelaide's total tackles or something ridiculous like that.
There you
go. Goals for Adelaide: the Racers kicked 4, Rochelle 3, Himmelberg and Rowe 2, Gallant, Keys and McHenry and Scholl with 1 each. Give us your thoughts just as a start, and I'm going to just deal with my dog very quickly and very quietly.
Yep, no worries. Look, I was pumped that we've had a win, and that's really exciting because, the first 3 weeks have just not been good football. So it was great to get a win. The way we did it, I wasn't really happy with, but I'm also trying to sell it on myself is that we had, the Merritt, Langford, Tip and Woody, who are stringer,
we had a lot of outs, yeah.
We had, and not just like, Stringer and Merritt are easily our top 4 or 5 best players. Let's Stringer possibly could be our best player. I don't know. Langford's pretty handy, and Tip and Woody, I think, as we know, in that forward line, has been a great player for us for a long time, and we miss that forward pressure and goal kicking that he brings. So some good players out. I did hear a stat over the weekend that we were the youngest, or not the youngest, the least games played team. So under 50 or 50 and under was our average. So
yeah, it was a very
young team, very young list. Adelaide, and look at Adelaide, they were missing one player to pick from. So they had everyone on their list to pick from, and one player was injured. So I don't think Adelaide are a great team at the moment, but this is as good as Adelaide can pick a team, and we beat them in the end, not by much, but glass half full, glass half empty sort of thing. I'm trying to look at the positives. I don't like the way they scored so easily, but we can discuss that a bit later.
Well, yeah, we'll go through a bit of it. We spoke earlier today and just kind of had to remind ourselves to be a bit positive. We're probably overly analytical. I don't know if we're overly analytical, but we are very critical, and we want to see us play well. I would rather just play 3 good games of footy against good sides and lose than I don't really get a lot out of playing like crap and winning. But as you said, a lot of players out, and there's still positives to take. So
well, you know what did it for me, Sam?
For this, what did it for you, Nathan?
Well, during the week, Sam did this a horrible analysis that killed me. Really, really drove me to.
Is this the one I was barracking?
There were stages where I was barracking for Adelaide, Sam. This is what you did to me.
No. So yes, it was the conversation.
The data was the basics of it was since 2000 and what was it?
2000. If you want me to reel it off.
Yeah. Give it to me.
The ladder positions.
Yeah. Ladder positions since 2000.
Sorry, folks. We will get to the positives. I promise. From 2007 onwards. So the basis of 2007 is that in 2006 we finished second last, and that's when we really kind of bottomed out.
After a flag in 2000. So we'd had our run and then it'd come to the end.
So ladder positions, I'll run through them quite quickly. 12th, 12th, 8th, 14th, 8th, 11th, 9th, 7th, 15th, 18th, 2016. Bit of an asterisk on that one. 7th, 11th, 8th, 13th, 7th. Most amount of wins, ironically being 14, except that was the year we got booted from finals. So that was one of those. 9th was actually 7th. Other than that, a lot of 10s, 11s, and 12s, and then less. But what stood out to us was it was all, we'd go up,
middle
to 7th or 8th, then down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And I think our main takeaway from it was that we haven't had a sustained period of being just absolutely garbage to get, I don't know, 3 or 4 top 10 draft picks in that side.
Yeah. Well, for whatever reason. Now. I mean, we're talking over 15 years of football where we haven't gone better than 7th or, about 15, 16. So better than 7th is horrible, in 15 years. So I guess, and, after the first 3 losses and this year, we were predicting, we knew it was a really tough draw. So we're predicting ourselves to be somewhere around that 8, 9, 10 mark again because it was a really tough draw and I really didn't think we'd beat a lot of the teams we had to play twice because they were good teams. So it was another year where we'd come in about that same spot. And then the year after that, maybe we'd be better. I don't know. Hope we will be and all this sort of stuff. So it was quite a challenge. And I think it really depressed me for the start of the game. So anyway, here we are. All right. Let's go to the positives, though.
Well, I was going to say, we'll get on to the game positives and negatives now. Yeah. I've got some notes. You can't see them because Zoom just decided to...
That's okay. Just read them out, buddy. I can listen.
Tactical analysis. I started scribbling at the start of the game, just some notes, because I tend to forget what I pick up on during the game.
I should do that.
Particularly when I watch it on the telly. In terms of matchups, Laverde started on Tex, BZT started on Himmelberg, and Phillips started in the ruck. That was interesting to me.
Yep.
Martin had 2 touches in the first 30 seconds that made me
beautiful, weren't they?
Happy. Very, very happy, including, I think, the kick to Durham. For the first goal.
But those 2 little handballs in that first 5 seconds were just nice little touches too.
Yeah. And a touch on the wings a bit later on. That was about it from the start of the game. I think we'll get the negatives out of the way. We'll get a bit of a analysis of why we think we're still a bit meh. Then we'll go into some positives because it's always nice to finish on the positives.
Yeah, true. You want to go first or?
I will, because I'm going to bring up a different one to what you will.
Yep, go.
I'm glad we won because I can say this. It's easier to say this off a win, right? Umpiring has just gone mental. I don't get this game anymore, and I don't like this game anymore. I love my club, but I don't like watching football anymore. What I wrote down here that triggered this was pay the first FKG free kick. So many times, especially in the midfield, our guys would be wrapped up, tackled, cuddled, whatever, before they got the football and it was play on. It's just every time. And it's like, got to pay the free kick. And then what happened a lot after that was we'd make a minor little transgression and then Adelaide would get the free kick. It's like, it may have been a free kick, sure, but pay the first one.
There was a few anomalies in the umpiring decisions, and most of them from one umpire. But
yes, Eleni hates Essendon. Pass it on. Apologies if I got that name wrong, but you know who I mean.
To me, I couldn't work out. There was a ruck infringement, and both ruckmen were like, "But what?" Ruck
commentary said it at one point. The ruck lottery. Both ruckmen look at the umpire and go, "Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, it's yours." Sure.
Yeah. Just let them play on, like those ones where they're both doing that in the ruck. If they're both hanging on to each other, whatever. And the shepherd one, I don't get the shepherding ruck. just because you jump and hit the other guy. Isn't that what rucking is?
I don't know. I don't know what the free kick's for. And lastly, the whole 50-metre penalty for arguing with an umpire. It's gone too far. And this is against us. We got the benefit from this one.
That was for us, yeah.
There was the one where Phillips took a mark at half forward. I don't know who the Adelaide player was, whether it was O'Brien or another ruckman or a taller guy from them. Copped a bit of an arm from Phillips behind his head.
Oh, it's Himmelberg.
It was Himmelberg, okay. And I think it was, I don't know which umpire it was anyway. He gestured to the umpire as if to say, I got a whack across the back of the head then. Nothing demonstrative, no swearing, just what about the hit in the back of the head? And the umpire paid 50. Too much, too far.
Yeah.
That gave us a goal. And we won by whatever it was, 4 points, 5 points. So that's massive. It's too much. It's heavy-handed.
I think I watched a few other games too, and there were a few free kicks. Like the free kick, there was one, a really bad one where Adelaide, it was Carlton and Gold Coast, and Doherty pushed, so he was standing behind the Carlton player who was about to kick it, and he pushed his opponent onto the other side of the Carlton player who was about to kick it, and then sprinted down that side. And the Gold Coast guy had nowhere else to go, so they gave him a 50 for being in the block zone. He said, but I wasn't. I got pushed into this spot by the Carlton player, and now you got a 50.
Into the
so you just shove them into the protected zone, and there's a free kick for you. Like, I think it's when umpires need to say, no, I'm not falling for that, or I think they need to bring back the 15-metre or something like that penalty for these. Like, if you stand off the mark, it's just a 15. It's not a 50 metres. It's too much for one little step. And they're trying to trick you. You can see they're trying to fake a handball to get you to just take that little step, and then 50-metre. Now, players need to be switched on too. There's all that sort of argument as well. I get that. But is that what the game's coming to, where we're trying to trick players into giving 50s? Like 50s used to be because you crunched someone after a mark, or you did something a bit dirty. Yeah. Or you tried to hold them up, like not giving the ball back in time. That one's fine. If they don't give the ball back when you ask for it, then that's a 50. That's fine. I have a problem with that one because you're trying to slow the game down to help your player. But if you're merely just trying to run around to get to your player, you're not affecting the guy kicking the ball. You're just trying to get out of the bloody way.
And there was also one on Friday night, Dogs and Carlton, must be Saturday night. It's like Dogs and Richmond, where I think the Dogs player got up, took steps backwards, was told to stand, took steps backwards, directly backwards, and got pinged 50. Too much. The guy's too much.
Well, that's interesting because that's a fault in the Dogs' tactic, because their tactic is to always get back 5. And I think that's where their coach tells them, obviously that's a coach rule. And that one just caught them out there because they were like, well, I've got to get back my 5. They don't, the doggies don't want to stand on the mark. They want to get back and patrol that 5-metre mark area. So that was interesting too.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave it at
back
that
to the game.
Umpires, because we don't want to harp on too much, even though we just did. Now, you're going to want to talk about the transition of defence, I imagine.
Yes, the disgustingness.
Just some stats, and then I'll let you monologue.
Go.
Adelaide kicked 4 goals from defensive 50. Now, this is my own stats, so margin of error, plus minus 1. They scored 4 goals from transitioning from our defensive 50 to a goal. 3 of them were open goals, where they waltzed into the line and kicked a goal. One of those 3 was a kick over the back where they had 2 free players goal side in a really congested 50 that made no sense whatsoever. Okay, monologue, son.
I was just going to ask, I wonder how many goals, I'd love to know how many goals we kick from kick-ins. Like, is that a piece of data we can find? Because for me, I see our biggest issue, there's two issues that glare at me when I watch us play, and that's how we defended in this game. Our defenders got way too far forward. A lot of people are going to say Redmond played well, Hine played well. My issue with the way they're playing is that they're getting way too far up the ground. They're getting kicks, they're having shots on goal, that's great, but the ball is getting taken over their heads, and we're left with a guy like Kelly by himself or Heppel by himself, who are not the quickest guys, and they just get burned by the little, got Rose and smart players like Rochelle, who are just going to burn them on the other side. And we look stupid. Like, those goals make you look stupid, I reckon, when you haven't. Now, Melbourne don't get caught out like that. Doggies don't get caught out in the back end like that. They have that goalkeeper who stays there and stays deeper, and they usually have lever hangs around that area too, like just to stay as a deep keeper. And they're not up trying to kick goals or get cheap little touches, get 25 touches. They're not about that. They're about defending the game, not letting goals. That's what your job is. The back six job is to stop goals, not kick goals. That's what the forwards and the mids job are. That's great if a defender can kick a goal, but if he's looking to kick goals all the time, it shits me because every time one goal's kicked against you, mate, you got to go back and kick about another 6 to make it even because that's my view on it. Now, the other thing is the transitional play. Our movement from a kick out, I don't know how many times. We kick it to a short, 15-metre kick into the pocket, and then we kick it another sort of 20 metres to about the 50-metre mark, and then we're left with nothing. So we kick it up to the wing. Whereas if we lose that contest, the best result is it goes out of bounds, we have a throw in, we might win that contest. But if we lose that marking contest, which we often do at the moment because we don't have a lot of great tall marking options, the ball then spreads out of that. Good teams know this and set up in the centre and are getting the ball out of this contest, getting it to the centre where they've got players, and then getting it either to the opposite pocket or the opposite wing back into the forward, where we might have one defender back there because they've all gone up the ground to get their kicks.
Yeah,
and it's just you watch other teams play. One more. Well, you watch other teams play, and they usually try and cut the team apart by foot. They'll move it. They'll get to about 100 metres short of their goals, and then they'll put the long bomb in. We're doing that from 200 metres short of ours.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sam, do you have
well, just to back that up, so our kick-ins from an opposition behind are quite clearly, it's clearly trained into them to do that shorter kick, and other clubs don't do it. Right, I've seen one or two short kicks, but generally they'll take the 15 metres run and then bomb it.
Kick it to the 70-metre mark, sort of.
Option. Yeah. As I said, 4 goals for Adelaide from a defensive 50. From their defensive 50. That's right.
Yep.
We did it twice. One of them was extremely hard work. It took us a minute or more, and it was kick mark, kick mark, kick mark, kick mark, and Adelaide defended, and I actually can't remember the goal for that particular one. Yeah. I'm sorry. The second time was a bit quicker. It ended up with a kick in hope to basically where the 50-metre line meets the boundary. That's when Phillips took the mark, which may have been a free kick to Adelaide, and got the 50.
Yep. So that wouldn't have probably resulted in a goal, realistically.
Probably not, realistically, but it did. So I guess you got to go with that. It just... the concern for me is that's leaving us. The only way we can score goals is from centre clearance, centre bounces, and we've got to run it through the guts because we can't get it from our back half into the forward half. So, again, my stats. So,
love them.
7 goals from stoppages, 3 of which centre clearances, 4 of which stoppages.
Yep, that's fair enough.
2 stoppages inside 52 on the wing, so that's some extra data. To Adelaide. Adelaide also had 4 goals from stoppages, all from stoppages though, none from centre clearances for Adelaide.
Right, yeah.
That's a good stat. We're not conceding. In this game, we didn't concede a goal from a centre clearance, but we scored 3. So,
and I think we're getting better at that, but I don't like the fact that we're relying on that to score. We just need to have some guys down the back half that can kick the ball to targets, and we don't.
Our biggest source of goals was turnovers, 5.
Yeah. So against a team like Adelaide, we should, but what are we going to do against good teams? We're just going to get butchered. 4 or 5. So. Yeah. Oh, we turned the ball over a lot.
Could have been 6. There was one goal I had no idea how to quantify, so I called it a turnover. Me.
Oh, nice. Look at you taking data. You could be working for...
But some of them I just go, I don't get it, because it was like a stoppage. We got the ball, they got the ball. Wasn't really a turnover. Then it was a scrap. Then we kicked a goal. So I'm not really sure what you'd call that.
Yep.
As a whole, I thought our defence was awful. I've heard some comments saying it was Redmond's best game, Hind's best game. Hind, fine. Played well. Didn't butcher the ball as much. Great. Redmond, for me... People you say he had a good game because he kicked a goal and got forward. That's not a defender for me. I'm sorry. There was one occasion
and it shitted us.
One occasion where BZT got isolated with Rochelle. There's no way in hell that should happen. If it'd come in on the ground, so BZT probably hasn't got half a hope. If it comes in the air, that's probably a win for us, but it didn't. So that's just poor work rate. Whoever should have been on Rochelle, and I don't know who it was. It could have been Redmond, could have been someone else. They're not there, and they should be. Commentary picked it up at one point that we had Heppel, Sard, Jesus, try again, Samuel. You said Sard before, it just got me. Heppel, Hind, and Redmond all up, all around attacking 50. I was like, well, who's in defence? Who's defending?
So that's leaving BZT and Kelly back there, who BZT is slow. Let's be honest. I've seen him run. He does not look. He's got a bit of hooker about him, something doesn't
Queen
seem to
Mary.
work properly with the running. Like it's not the legs don't seem to run properly. You're all gangly and anyway. I just don't like that. I think that's when Hind and Redmond need to be back there defending.
Well, they are defenders.
They're defenders. It's got a little diff at the front of there.
When Sard went and McKenna, because they went at the same time just about.
Yep.
Before they went, it hurt me. It annoyed me. It bugged me that we had two half-backs that were considered so brilliant for their attacking nature.
Yep.
No. One, all right. Two, nah. Hind and Redmond are two... They just do too much of a similar thing.
One of them we can deal with. Two, I think, is too many. And
Hind's not as attacking, but he does break the lines.
Hind's allowed to be attacking because of his foot speed. Redmond doesn't have foot speed. Sorry?
Yeah.
No, I can't hear your dog.
My dog's just sucking in the background and
can't hear it.
Stuck with him. Apologies, people. It bugs me no end. And I know that we might get... Sorry, I've just seen a comment come through. We'll get to that in a minute. I've totally lost all train of thought there.
Well, we're talking about the two defenders.
Oh, people
like to get up the alley.
Probably not like us for the fact we're calling out Redmond for that because he was... it wasn't a horrible game and he kicked a goal. But no, defend. Defend first and then attack. It'll win your flags.
I think the fact that a bottom team kicks 99 points against you, then you're not defending well. We can't...
Correct.
100 points is basically you lose games at 100 points. We were lucky to win this game. So you can say, it's great that they get... But we're defending... You don't win premierships. You are not a good team if you do not defend. You have to keep their scores around 60 points, 70 points to be a good football club. We are 40 points over there at the moment, and we need to do something drastically about it because we're playing Freo coming up this weekend, and they will score 120 against us. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be the boring game it normally is against Freo. Two last things. Not the first time I've said it. Won't be the last. Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest coaches world sports ever seen.
Bring it out.
Attack will win you games. Defense wins you premierships or titles.
Yep, there it is.
It's true.
Let's move on to the positives. I think we should do some positives.
Adelaide kicked 3 goals from out-and-out mistakes, and that is drop marks. Kicking the forward 50, we drop a mark, they kick a goal. So
one
small,
with Durham dropped an absolute doozy.
Kelly was okay, right? I don't want to hang shit on Kelly.
No, Kelly was fine, but...
He did it one, and it's just 3 goals, take that off, they're 99, they kicked 80 points. And you're getting this out a little bit better.
You've got to find ways to improve that because 90, you're in a world of trouble. Bottom teams kicking that many, especially when Tex kicks 4s. What did you say? Tex kick 4.
Yeah, the races kick 4. Rochelle 3. Himmelbergen Road 2. Gollant, Keys, and McHenry and Scholl did that last time too. Kicked 1.
Yeah, so it's a concern. Really concerned.
It really is. All right, now we're going to move into some
positives. Should we get it?
Well. Do you have any you want to just throw at me first?
Well, as I said, look, I tell you what, I'm loving the 2 ruckmen because of what it's doing for Peter Wright. And I think it's also helping Draper. Like I thought he played a really good game. Like he took marks around the ground, that goal in the fourth quarter. But I think the structure of that is helping our team because it's allowing Peter Wright to stay forward and be less knackered, I think, at the end of games.
Peter Wright kicked out the 3 again, but had 5 shots at goal. So
that's all. Really seriously, pick 78 or whatever we sold on him. He's doing his job very well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Phillips and Draper can chime in with a goal is great because that is totally all we're expecting from them. Totally, that's their job done. Plus, I think having the 2 ruckmen really worked well against their 1 ruckman because I think we wore him down. Like clearances, we were really good at. Hit-outs, we clearly won. Clearances, we won. So we were good around the ground. We were good at getting forward. Our midfield was good. Parrish got a lot of the ball, looked really good. Caldwell looked really good. Perkins, I liked Waterman. Devon Smith played a very good half, 4 tackles. Came on and did Devon Smith sort of things that we love. I heard him getting cheeky at someone. Someone punched him in the ribs. He tried to get a free kick. Loved it. Didn't get it, but, he tried.
Do you want to take all the positives, and I'll just sit here?
I was on a roll. Sorry, you go.
You really were. I want to elaborate a bit more on Perkins. He had a 10-touch game, right? Kicked 2 goals, and I was amazed he only had 10 touches.
Yeah.
Right. So I have harped on about this in the past. You can have a low possession game. It's fine.
Yeah.
But you got to contribute in tackles, pressure, or goals. For
100%.
McDonald, Tip and Woody, for instance, 10 possessions and 4 goals or 3 goals. No dramas for me whatsoever.
It's pretty standard.
Or 3 or 4 tackles as well. Perkins, awesome. I love him. I love how he is in traffic. I love how he is around goals. He has just a few James Hird tendencies. Just of his goal sense, nothing more. And I've heard some comparisons to McCurry, I believe, a bit before my football.
Oh yeah,
time.
I get that. Yeah, he was the Mercedes they used to call him. He was class.
Okay, new nickname for Perko, maybe the Beamer, the silver. No,
the Beamer.
I don't like Mercedes. So let's.
The other one I want to give a shout out to was the blonde nut. This with the pink mouth guard. He's got it all going on.
He does. He's colourful. This is on my list. Is this the moment where he smothered? Yep, where he made the smother.
There were several moments I felt,
and then got a holding the ball in the space of 10 seconds.
That sort of commitment will keep you in a team for a long, long time.
That's the shit that makes him a better option than Ham.
Oh, God. Why do we pick Ham? Don't we have anyone else that we can place in his spot?
Well, what was it, Bacon we're going to call Snelling? Snelling looked good, but just wasn't fit enough, clearly.
Well, that was a strange one, the Snelling. I'm really confused by the selection there because he'd been with the car 4 weeks. We were very when he was picked, I was like, he didn't seem quite fit enough. Like he hasn't. Yeah, he may have done 1 week of training. Like that doesn't seem like enough to come back and then pops the calf again in the first half. I mean, to me, that screams we fucked that up. Like,
bit of a
that is just Well, and this is why we have injured players all the bloody time. I would rather, and this is going to hurt. I would rather Ham play a full game than
play a half. Yep.
Then guys pop hamstrings or calves and stuff. There's no point.
If Smith had come back in, we gave Snelling half a game in the VFL to come back fitter next week. Yeah,
100%. Like we're doing it with Reed and Tip and Woody. They're playing VFL at the moment. They played 2 games. Like, what's wrong with it? Get proper fitness so when they come in, they'll get through a game. It's much more important.
Always how it used to be, didn't it? Like,
that
was never an alternative.
Nick Martin again is gold.
You come back through the Magoos. Yes, Rusty Martin. Let's have a talk about Rusty just for 5 seconds. He is better than Dustin Martin. No. Sorry, I say that because I want to read a comment out to you, and this will mean a lot more to you than anyone else in this whole entire setup. Chris Rule has commented, Guelphy is a spy.
Oh, no.
Now, I can
Chris Rule, we don't like everyone to know. Chris Rule barracks for Richmond.
He's for Richmond. He's a friend as much as a friend can be.
Is he a friend?
For Richmond. Well, he goes for Richmond.
Well, we worked with him. We know him.
He's an acquaintance from work. Yeah.
He's a friend from work. What's that?
Responses there. Don't read too much into anything he says. Essentially.
He's just trying to stir you up, people.
Yeah.
He's still holding on to the past.
So that's the only reason I say Rusty Martin better than Dusty Martin. It's not real.
You could argue his first 3 games are better than Dusty's. I'd love to know Dusty's data on.
Oh, let's not get into it too far.
Dusty wouldn't have kicked 5 and had 20 in his first game. I'm sure of it.
Probably not, but he has 3 premierships and a Brownlow, so let's not.
Yeah, well, there's that, but
and 3.
Nick's only young. Nick's a lot clean cut looking.
Yes,
clean cutter.
Rusty Martin. Right, we harped on it when we watched him in the preseason. Good in traffic, great situational awareness, has that Pendlebury-like ability to let the traffic go past him, stop, assess, and handball. Even when he's in traffic, he makes the right decisions. He kicks into the forward line, either A, to the forward's advantage, or B, to a lead. He's played 3 games, because he missed one, didn't he? He's played 3 games, and he's a smarter footballer than I reckon 90% of our list. Not a better footballer, a smarter footballer.
There was a moment looking at, I thought McGrath had a pretty good game actually, but there was one moment where I think he dropped a mark or there was a free kick or something like that and he panicked. It was a short kick and he wasn't sure. I don't know if he knew it carried the 15 or not. I don't know. And he panicked and he just made this horrible choice like with the ball and sort of spilt it and it went down the other end. And then about maybe 2 minutes later, Martin got the ball and had to do something really smart and really clever. I went, that's fascinating. Like Martin's into game 3 and he looks more calm and relaxed about people coming at him in traffic, whereas McGrath still, oh shit, someone's coming, get the hands, or makes bad decisions. I just thought, geez, McGrath needs to hang around with him.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a connection between Rusty and Wright. I think 2 of Wright's 3 goals came from Martin kicks, or maybe 1 kick, 1 goal behind. Anyway.
And that's purely because Nick Martin is a smart footballer and he's a forward and he knows where
Peter
forwards
Wright
want it.
Is a smart forward.
Yeah. Peter Wright is
Peter Wright
is our best player.
He's my favourite player right now, and for several reasons. But there was one point where he led the opposite direction and I think let Waterman lead into the pocket.
Yep.
And he created space for another forward. 1, he kicks goal. Great. Awesome. He's second in the Coleman. 2, he's creating space for other forwards.
Yeah. And a clever forward like Waterman is trying to use it. Like he's trying to lead into those pockets. We probably could do with another forward that'll lead into those gaps that Wright's leaving, so that then like the guy with the ball kicking it has an option to kick to the lead, or if that doesn't, if that gets blocked out, then I go long down to Peter Wright. But the lead drags out another defender that can't just punch the ball over the boundary line or through the point post. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Simple footy.
Simples. All right.
Easy. We should
couple-minute
play
warning to anyone listening right at this point in time to head over to the Facebook, Jeebus, the YouTube, and hit subscribe. We're going to do the footy very, very, very soon. I want to just go through some comments. We actually have some comments. Who knew that winning games of football would increase interest?
Bring the people out.
Yeah.
If I read any ones from Chris Rule.
Well, there's just one there, so Chris might have vacated at this point, but we'll see. Alfie's back.
Alfie!
Channel favourite, podcast favourite. He's asked me how much of it did I actually watch. Once the Grand Prix started, it was very difficult. But,
Good question.
I was not. I had it going on both screens. So one screen for the F1, one screen for the footy, and I was just swapping sound depending on what was happening. I did say signs for the win, and he was DNF in the first lap, so that went well. But his Ferrari teammate did win, so I'll take that just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love Rusty. Elfie also, yes, we love Rusty. Jordan Bomber Tool, who I actually do know from my real life. Go the Mighty Dons. You could tell that we weren't 100%, but to get that win, it was needed. And can't be overstated. We needed a bloody win.
100%.
To win ugly is better than losing ugly. So,
and I think that's the thing. Look, I think it was hard to watch a lot of the stage, but the win is great. Really happy, but geez, we still got a lot of work to do to be like Freo next week. Big game.
Jordan also commented on Hep being better this week. He started slow last year as well. I did think Heppel was better. Still very slow of mind. His decision making and sometimes just looks a bit like the Queen Mary. Just takes a long time to do things. Adam Braverman's berated me for being 15 minutes early because I did say we were going to go live at 7:30. Apologies for that. I didn't think people were that invested, but noted. Peter James has asked, how did Rochelle not get fined for punching Smith twice? I would have thought the second one was AFL might have fined him just for the action because I don't like that, but Smith was doing his best to get a little cheapy out of that, I think. Which is fine.
Could have been a little $1,000.
Could have been a fine, but anyway. Dylan's commented on... start that again. Dylan Oakland has commented on Durham was bad for dropping marks. Hurts to say because I like him. Yeah, he wasn't alone though, and he's got some good endeavour.
Yeah, he's another one of those that really gives it everything, and at the moment, I'm okay with that. Look, there was 2 marks I can think of. One he dropped and he cat-like jumped back up and was off.
And he set up a goal with that, actually.
Yeah, I think it was a goal. Whereas the other one cost us a goal. I reckon he dropped it out in the middle, somewhere on the square somewhere. One of the
drop marks, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, God, that's a horrible drop.
That's impressive. I watched that 5 minutes ago, or 5 minutes before we started, and forgotten all about that.
I watch things. Take note.
Alfie's had a giggle.
I wasn't drinking, actually, because I was a bit crook over the weekend. So it's all a lot more locked in.
You weren't well. Alfie's had a giggle at the racist. He will never be anything else to me. I can't believe he's even celebrated or anything for returning. I
think it was really poor taste of Adelaide, the way they sort of
they got around him for the first goal as well. Like, really got around him. Like, no, I'm sorry.
I wonder if the Aboriginal kids at the club were like high-fiving each other. And
this is one thing Essendon do really well. Our Indigenous programs, our inclusiveness and everything is really good. So
we've had some very good leaders in that.
You will never have my respect ever again, and you don't deserve anyone's respect for those sort of comments.
Sorry.
Jordan Bomber Tool again. Waller at 70% is better than Ham. Don't disagree. Dylan's chimed in with Waller at 50% is better than Ham.
No. That's probably right too. Ham's just, I understand we don't have small, but surely there's like Tom Hurd. Is it Tom? Or one of the Hurd kid? I'd rather see him out there, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen enough of Ham. There's nothing there. There's nothing there that's going to turn up. He's not going to be a good footballer. There's nothing there.
Nothing there. Just sort of.
What were your thoughts on BCT too in his game that you haven't played for a while?
I'm really sorry. I'm just going to yell at my dog. He's sitting there, just whining, just a little bit. It's really annoying.
We can't hear it, Sam.
I know, but I can. I don't know. It wasn't anything to rave about. It wasn't anything.
Do you play him next week?
Awful, yes. The worst moment he had was when he got isolated against Rochelle, and that's not up to him. I don't think that's not his issue. It was
he's bad against small, smart forwards. Like you'd expect.
He's 190-something centimetres. Like, he's going to probably struggle on the ground against a small bloke. Not brilliant, but I'd play him. And I think Stewart's injury was a calf, so that's probably not a one-week injury. So he's probably going to have no choice but to play. Yeah, I
didn't think he was great.
Overly impressed, but
I wasn't impressed is the word I'd use. But I think I'd like to see him play another game just for the sake of was it nerves? Was it just that
you can't give a guy one game.
No, you can't. I'd like to see him play two.
Set up your whole career.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you've stuffed it up. Sorry, you never play AFL again. Bad luck. Well, that hasn't worked for Ham.
And if I'm not going to go look at it because it's not that important, but I would be surprised if he's had a sustained period in the side.
No, he wouldn't. No, I could guess maybe 5 or 6 would be his longest stretch of playing for us.
That even, but that's not.
I reckon about 3 years ago he played a few in a row.
What sticks out in my mind is that he came into the side for an elimination final against West Coast and was god awful. But again, came into the side for that one game. So I don't think it's horrible. As I said, plays again for me. No dramas and that at all. But just
we do our best.
Not brilliant. I've got one more comment here I just want to touch on because we should have mentioned it already. Devon's just chimed in. Devon Cullis, not Devon Smith.
Not Devon Smith. That'd be
quite funny if it was Devon Smith. Thoughts on Wanganeen? I'll let you go first.
I love his tackling. I love he's obviously a long way off. Let's be honest. But he didn't play a lot of footy last year. He's came back from an injury, I think, the year before that. So he hasn't played a lot of footy over the last 2 years, COVID and whatever injury issues. He's got skill. He's just a long way off it in that he's
green,
just a kid.
Isn't he?
Yeah, but I'd like if we could swap him for Tip next week or the week after, and then he goes plays VFL for the year. I think he's fine. I don't have a problem with him on our list at all.
No problem with him on our list at all. No problem with him in the AFL side while there's no one else. No. But if there was someone else available, I think he is better off in the twos just for his own development. It's nothing against him at all.
Great experience for him to be playing senior footy like that.
But he needs a bit. He just needs a bit to.
Yeah, he's just a kid. But his tackling was awesome. He could have got a free kick too when someone smashed into his back.
Yep.
That was. Oh yeah, that was horrible. Like you see him where they tackle someone and they fall forward with them, like no pain, no nothing. Yeah, in the back. Well, is it in the back? Like you're on the ground, both of you, really. Whereas he was like crunched into anyway. I'm fine.
Anyway, all right. I'm gonna get you to do your votes, please.
No worries. Well, I went with my 3. We do 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1? Yeah, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. I have to think about it now. 1, I'm going to give to McGrath. 2 to Parrish. And 3 to the big boy, Peter.
Right again? Wow, okay.
Oh, yeah, how could you, we don't have a bloody tall forward and he's so exciting.
He's not bad. I gave him votes. I just didn't give him 3. I'm going to go the other way because my first 2 are predictable and then my number 1 vote was maybe a little bit out there. 3 to Parrish. I didn't think he had that much of an influence, but 38 at 8 clearances is
he would have been great with a goal.
Yeah, I agree, but clearance work was good. Peter Wright 2, so acknowledge he had a good game. And I got with Guelphy 1.
Oh, wow.
Which might just be a little bit of a sympathy vote, but he had 21 touches. The double effort with that smother and then a free kick was brilliant. And he had that one chance to kick a goal. I think he actually might have kicked 1-1. Anyway, he had that chance to kick a goal running into 50 and kicked it. And that is polar opposite to numerous times of Ham's been running into goal and missed. So
that was a beautiful goal, actually. Caldwell fed it out to him, and we'd had a little bit of a cock up, sort of about 10 metres back from there, and then Caldwell fed it out, and then that goal was really nice. Yes, I agree. Look, I loved Golfy's game. I would have had him in my top 4 or 5 easily. He was. Yep. I love if he brings that week in, week out. I've no problem with him staying.
I admit it is a bit of a he's not normally that good, so when he is that good, it stands out. But that's the effort we need from him.
But it's the effort, and we look. Not every player is great. Yeah, but 100%. If somebody you think of guys at Richmond, there were a few players there that weren't the most talented, but what they brought was tackling pressure and harassing pressure, and that got them games week in, week out, and won them flags.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Now the bit I'm sure everyone has been waiting for is the football. This magnificent.
A drum roll.
Apologies. I'm just going to turn my blur off. You'll actually be able to see the football.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies, you're going to learn I'm a Chelsea supporter when I do this. I'm not apologising for that, soccer. Actually.
Well,
you can get stuffed. I do like my Chelsea.
Formula 1 and soccer. I mean, who are you?
I do like football too. To be fair. Hello, there's my background. All right, so you got DONS gold logo. Beautiful. You're cool. The sponsor, beautiful. AFL. There we go. We do play that sport. And all signed. How good. 21 listening to the podcast.
I can guarantee it's not Sam and I have not squiggled on it. It's
it might add value. You can argue, but
we should. Oh
no, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
If you're listening to this without any frame of reference for visual, I apologise. I just showed the football to the screen, and I go for Chelsea.
Well, there you go. Actually, good point.
All right, now there's no science to this. I'm literally just going to go onto our YouTube and pick a winner out of the 100.
You've got like a little ball thing in the background. And
I'll fess up. I kind of stuffed up with this. It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be with just subscribers. It would have been better for us to do some comments or something. But anyway, we said we'll subscribe and you can win.
We're very professional people.
So here we go. Hold your breath. I'm going to look away and I'm going to click on someone. There we go. Kane Knights. Kane, if you're listening,
Kane Knights. That's like my cousin.
Oh, I hope he's not a relation to Matty Knights.
Who? Oh, it was
controversial.
I hope you're not Kane.
Kane, we'll hit you up on YouTube and
on your socials.
We'll organise getting that to you.
On your Kaney.
Good stuff.
Kano.
We're very excited with that. We really are excited to be giving stuff away, and we're really.
Oh, there'll be more of it.
We're really thankful to the club that gave it to me without really questioning. They just said, "Yep, we got this. If you want it, yep, no worries." And they sent it to me.
Gave it to him.
All good. Chris Rules offered to swap Tom Lynch for the football. I politely decline that request.
Tom Lynch is not worth the football's worth more than Tom Lynch.
Probably.
800,000 a year they pay him to play football, and he turns up for about 3 minutes every game. Peter Wright cost us nothing. Pick 78, better already.
I was going to say we do have the better forward, so cop that.
Well, Jack Rewald's pretty good.
Oh, and Lynch and Wright.
Yeah, true.
Would be biased.
We got the better one out of the Gold Coast. Let's say that.
Yeah, there we go. Best thing to come from the Gold Coast. Keeping in mind Gary Ablett came from Geelong.
But the best tall forward. Let's just specific.
Leave it at that, sure. So,
best over 198 centimetres.
We have been waffling for far too long. Freo next week. We'll have a little preview of that out Thursday night, as we do.
Any ins or outs that you can think of?
Well, Snelling's out, obviously, and I think Smith in is reasonable for that into the 22. And
Drake will get Ham out.
I can't really think.
Does Hobbs get a game?
No. Keep him on.
He didn't play in the VFL.
Okay, interesting.
He was used as an emergency, and because they horrible scheduling where they both the VFL and the AFL playing basically at the same time.
Hobbs, I want to see just get some established footy at VFL level now. And if round one, I would have said play him, but now let him just get some form in the VFL and then bring him in to the big boys.
Could Cox be an in for a Ham?
I don't know. I don't know what his injury is. So if he's fit, he comes in, sure. But I don't
Well,
know.
I thought it was meant to be a week, but now it's been 2 weeks, so I don't.
So you assume he's going to come back in. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, Peter James has suggested ham sub, with no pun intended.
Ham sub.
We'll just call him Subway now. There you go.
That'd be about the best spot for him.
We are going to wrap up there. Kane will get in touch on the YouTube.
On your Kaney.
And yeah, we'll be back Thursday night with a little preview for the Freo game. Go Dons.
Go Bombers.
Thank you.